We're watching news first, and up next is a look at Action TV.
The issues facing farmers of Katual Batu or Solanum xanthocarpum in the northwestern province who for 2 months were made to face hardships as they were unable to sell their harvest have been resolved. On the 12th of this month, Action TV revealed that even though forward trade agreements had been signed with some farmers in the area, the private companies had ceased purchase of the harvest of Solanum xanthocarpum. The buyers arrived at such a decision after considering the obstacles posed by the police when transporting stocks of the medicinal plant. The cultivation of Katual Batu, which commenced on a small scale on the border of Puttalam and Kurunegala districts 10 years ago, is now widespread in the area as farmers took it up as an alternative due to threats from wild elephants to paddy crops and the lack of grasslands for livestock herding. Solanum xanthocarpum, which provides 3 harvests a year, also costs relatively less to cultivate. Certain private corporations provided the farmers training in cultivating Solanum xanthocarpum and even provided loans to get them started because the medicinal plant widely used in Ayurveda was being imported from India. Environment units attached to police stations in the northwestern province hindered the cultivation of Solanum xanthocarpum by employing the Flora and Fauna Ordinance. The farmers have decided to recommence the cultivation activities of Katual Batu. Although over the past 2 months, police in the northwestern province arrested several persons for transporting Katual Batu and subsequently released them on police bail, facts were presented to court regarding such arrests on only one occasion. This is on the 15th of this month by the Varipula police. Katual Batu is not mentioned in the ordinance. The police has made arrests due to their carelessness or knowingly assuming that a law was breached by these individuals.
The
price paid by Solanum xanthocarpum farmers for the police's ignorance of the law cannot be ignored.
The final rites for Deshamanya Brahma Sri P. Shanmugaratnam Sharma, the recently deceased head priest of the Selva Vinayagar Kovil in Captain Gardens, Colombo, were performed today at the public cemetery in Buralla.
Born in 1915, Brahma Sri Shanmugaratnam Sharma was 97 years of age at the time of his passing. An Oil Island Justice of Peace, Brahma Sri Shanmugaratnam Sharma, was also conferred the titles of Shivagama Pusanam and Shivagama Tilakam. They had been arriving since last evening to pay their final respects to Brahma Sri Shanmugaratnam Sharma. Following religious observances, the body, which had been lying at his home, was brought to the public cemetery in Buralla. The final rites were then performed.
Up next is a look at this first.
The Minister of Agriculture says that preparations have been made to export 10,000 metric tons of maize from Sri Lanka for the very first time. Minister of Agriculture Mahinda Apabewardena said the maize would be exported to Canada and Taiwan. Maize cultivation is widespread in the country under the government's program to promote local food crops. The Minister of Agriculture said maize is now being cultivated in every district in the island except for the Colombo, Gampaha, Kalutara and Galle districts. Maize cultivation is most prevalent in the Uva province.
The time for sports news now, and Swan Fernando is here in the studios with the very latest. Swan, it's over to you.
Thank you, Arundhati. Niroshan Dikwala of Trinity College, Kandy was adjudged Best Schoolboy Cricketer of the Year, while his alma mater was awarded the Best School Cricket Team of the Year at an awards night held yesterday.
Schoolboy cricketers and schools that showed exceptional skills in the school cricket arena were honoured at an awards night held yesterday at the Muses College Auditorium in Colombo. Hashan Hevanayaka of the SDS Jasinha Central College in Dehiwala was adjudged the Emerging Bowler of the Year, while Ashan Dinuravana Singha of St. Thomas's College, Madhara was adjudged the Emerging Batsman of the Year. Skipper of SDS Jasinha Central College in Dehiwala, Lahirul Supun was adjudged the emerging captain of the year. Meanwhile, Amal Aponzo of St. Sebastian's College, Mogadua walked away with the award for the best bowler, while Sanjeeva Salgado of Thurston College, Colombo won the best batsman award. Nigoshan Dekola of Trinity College, Kandy was adjudged best all-round of the year. Nigoshan Dekola also went on to win the best schoolboy cricket captain of the year award. Trinity College Kandy, who were the champions in the limited over, league and 2020 tournaments, were adjudged the best school cricket team of the year, while skipper Nigoshan Dekola was named the best schoolboy cricketer of the year.
Last Monday, Sri Lanka Cricket announced that the agreement reached with Somerset Ventures as sponsor for the Sri Lanka Premier League will be implemented with minor amendments. However, did the Parliamentary Committee on Public Enterprises, or COPE, grant approval for this? Tonight on The Bitter Truth, we take a closer look at the issue.
Special attention was focused on the transparency in the agreement reached between Sri Lanka Cricket and Somerset Ventures with regards to the Sri Lanka Premier League in the last COPE report. The Committee on Public Enterprises questioned the process used to select the relevant organisation as the sponsor for the SLPL, as well as the ability for it to organise such an event. The COPE report recommended that disciplinary action should be taken against all officials who were involved in the agreement. However, there is still no clue to show that these recommendations were implemented. As far as I know, COPE has no power to tell an institution to organise or not to organise a tournament. They spoke taking into account the various views expressed and what was aired through the media. However, Chairman of Sri Lanka Cricket Upali Dharmadasa said that approval from COPE had been obtained to implement the agreement reached with Somerset Ventures. At a recent media briefing, he emphasised that he too went before the COPE committee and was involved in obtaining approval from COPE. No, certain facts in the previous agreement had to be amended first to move forward. I think it is difficult to tell everything that is in the agreement to the media. COPE made a decision that there were discrepancies with regard to the agreement with Somerset. If the decision is to be changed, it should be done before the committee and its members. I don't think it can be done alone by the chairman. If approval was granted to implement the agreement with Somerset with or without amendments as mentioned by the chairman of Sri Lanka Cricket, on what basis was it done? When Sports First made inquiries with the chairman of COPE, Senior Minister D.E.W. Gunasekara, he said that he cannot comment on it to the media, but a clear answer will be given before Parliament. Sri Lanka Cricket was called before COPE on several occasions, and when agreements and memorandums reached by the institution were considered, we saw several shortcomings. As a member of COPE, on no occasion can I approve the implementation of an agreement with the shortcomings which should have been corrected.
කෝප් කමිටුව ලබා දුන් නිර්දේශ ක්‍රියාත්මක නොකර ඒ ගිවිසුම
It is clearly an issue if the same agreement is being implemented without implementing the recommendations made by COPE. Therefore, it is the responsibility of all officials to direct Sri Lanka Cricket to implement the COPE recommendations. If not, the acceptance of the COPE report will diminish in society.
කෝප් කමිටුව වාර්තා පිළිබඳ සමාජයේ තියෙන පිළිගැනීම පළුදු වෙන්න පුළුවන්.
What steps will the chairman of the Committee on Public Enterprises take to safeguard the spirit of sport as well as the integrity of COPE? Sports First will keep a watchful eye.
Well, that's all we have from this edition of Weekend Primetime News, but you can log on to our website, that's www.newsfirst.lk. I'm Arundhati Mudannaika. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.